Hello and welcome back to Versus Live. I'm Todd Anderson.
I'm Ross Merriam.
We got Robert over in the booth taking your questions, comments, concerns, and or burns. Make sure to get a couple burns for Mr. Ross here because he's been gone a while. He's got some backlog.
Well, I'm up a match, so maybe you need some burns.
Look, your deck
Light
is
a fire
great,
under you.
and I am rooting for you. Okay?
Okay. Hopefully I do the same on Thursday, but no promises.
Sure, that's fine. So yeah, we are playing a gauntlet today and Thursday, and the way this gauntlet works is one person chooses the deck that they think they're going to play this weekend at Richmond, and they put it through the gauntlet of the decks the other person thinks are going to show up in high numbers. We had the White Weenie deck featuring Gideon Blackblade and all the normal cast of characters that you've seen in these White Weenie decks for the last 8 months or so. And the deck looked pretty strong, but it was handled very well by the Esper Hero deck that you're piloting. And I think the second match of the day is going to highlight a completely different side of things. And I'm curious to see how this is going to go because I feel like it's going to go real bad for me.
Well, I think game one, my deck has some cards that don't do a whole lot. Todd's playing a Simic Nexus strategy, so I've got Tyrant Scorn, I've got Hostage Taker, and I've got if I draw too many removal spells, if I mortify the first Reclamation and have another one sit in my hand, sometimes you just power through and you draw so many cards it doesn't really matter.
Sure.
So the density of removal in game one could be a problem, but if I land in early Teferi, it might not matter. And then post board, I think it's going to swing pretty dramatically in my favor because I get to cut those bad removal spells, bring in a bunch of counters, some extra discard to supplement Thought Erasure, and my entire deck becomes really, really good. So I'm hoping really to just sort of split the pre-board games. I'd be super happy with that, and then crush the post-board games. And if that's how it works out, then I'm really excited about this deck.
All right, and Ross did say it. I'm going to be playing Simic Nexus in our match today, and specifically, I'm playing. This is Ali Warfield's list. This is Arctic Meebo for those of you who are unaware on Twitter, as well as Allison Warfield on the SCG Tour. A huge fan of Simic Nexus, and she's been playing it a lot on Arena over the past week. And I thought her list would be pretty darn good. The sideboard's pretty interesting, but we'll get to it when we're there. But let's just go ahead and play game one. Because we were on break for 10 minutes and people are hungry.
I'm hungry.
Nom nom. All right. Well, I lost the first match, so I will be on the play here for the third or game one of the second match. And my hand is pretty good. We're gonna keep it.
Yeah, I've got a good clock here, which I really value, and one piece of disruption at least, so I'll keep as well.
All right, I'm gonna play a Memorial to Genius. Now, most lists play 4 of this. I think it's possible we want to trim a little bit on these. Because I've just had my lands enter the battlefield tapped a little too often, but, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know how many of those people are really, activating in a given game. I could definitely see 4 being excessive. Let's start on a hero.
Okay.
Got Growth
Fortunately,
Spiral.
I do not have Growth Spiral. All right, we are going to play a Blast Zone, though, and put a counter on it, and that's going to allow us to potentially check the hero next turn if we so choose. It also prevents a second hero from coming down.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
It also gives us an answer to Teferi Time Raveler, which is a pretty big deal. 18 me?
Yep. I will Thought Erasure you and make a human token.
All right, Tameo Chemister Nexus.
Let me make sure I know what this one does. Starts on 5.
Ticks up, name a card, look at the top 4, put all in your hand that hit and the rest in the grave. -3 is get a thing back from your graveyard. Anything back from the graveyard.
Yeah, I think I just take the Tameo. That seems particularly threatening right now.
Yeah, and survival.
And definitely don't want Enter the God Eternals. And I've got a tap land to play. You can go.
Okay. I think I just want to Chemisters over popping the hero. There's a chance if I pop the hero, I'm just going to play like Sorin and get it back next turn. And if I pop it, I kind of want to do it on the main phase just because it knocks off the ability to generate an extra token. But the pressure I'm under is not huge right now, so I think I just have at least one more turn to cast Chemister. And Ross is going to make usually max like one more.
Attack for 3.
Yeah, 15.
Easy to 15. Todd is right. I will be making another token this turn. We'll play a Seraph. Apply some more pressure. Pass.
All right, I'm going to cast Chemisters and draw 2.
Yep. Todd is, with his draw step, will have seen 4 new cards in these last 2 turns, and they got to be pretty good.
All right, we'll just play a tapped Memorial and say go.
Not a great sequence of draws, but let's attack for 8.
All right, I'll go to 7.
So that is lethal, although I guess if Todd answers the hero with a blast zone, then it's not. So I will. This is X tap.
X tap.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can only send it up to 3 right now, which
is not particularly good. What am I scared of? I guess Todd has the ability to go Reclamation into Nexus. Yeah. But he's not gaining any sort of card advantage off of that turn. But I guess he just then gets to untap with Nexus and then start gaining his card advantage, or untap with Reclamation, and then start going ham. So I will simply play a Hallowed Fountain or a Glacial Fortress and pass the turn.
All right, the Chemister. Untap. Yep. Draw for turn. I'm gonna play a Tamio.
Okay.
I'm gonna tick up and name Wilderness Reclamation. 4. We miss. We had 2 growth spirals, a land, and a root snare. And say go.
So I have to assume we're getting fogged here, which is fine.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and fog on upkeep. I don't think there's main deck counter spells, but all Ross has to do is attack, and I'd rather just play it now when he has less cards in hand.
Yep. That was quite the draw. So let's go shock, go to 18, and Deputy the Tamio, make a token. Then I'll play a Teferi, and I don't have anything to bounce, so let's just plus. And we also get a token from that. You can go.
That's really bad. I think I'm actually just dead.
Yeah, Tamio also quite good against Root Snare. Or Teferi, I mean. So we are now presenting lethal damage. Todd can play land 7 and cast Nexus of Fate, but that really doesn't do anything. Can't cast Reclamation into it.
Alright. Play another Blast Zone, and I'll cast Nexus. I basically just have to... I don't know what I need. I think I'm just dead.
Chain Nexuses with lands long enough to Blast Zone on 3?
Yeah. But that would mean I have to have a bunch of lands in hand. I just don't.
Okay. Well, that's good for me then.
I have 1 and an opt. Cut. Alright, so draw. It's not a Nexus. Did you have a Mortify in hand?
I did not.
Okay.
My hand is pretty bad. Hostage Taker, Tyrant Scorn.
Yeah. Alright. Opt. Bottom. Nexus. Nope, dead.
Oh, look, I cast Teferi, and your entire deck stopped working.
Yeah. I had another Tamio. I could have played it and got back Root Snare and bought myself an extra turn if it wasn't for that. And that would have let me tick up on the... There's a possibility at some point I should have just put a 3rd counter onto the Blast Zone.
Yeah.
Instead of casting Chemister. But I just didn't have anything going on. My hand was just not very good.
Yeah, so then if you don't Chemisters, then you might just not be able to kill me even if I don't have Teferi. Which I think it's pretty clear at that point I didn't, so I had to top deck it. So you're probably right to just dig through your deck, but...
Yeah, and I actually drew the Wilderness Reclamation. I messed up! I forgot I could put a counter on the... I could play Wilderness Reclamation and then put a counter on my land and then untap and blow up your Teferi and your thing.
But then you can't.
I didn't have a Root Snare in hand. So. Yeah. Okay, never mind. But it was close.
Yeah, gotta remember that you can Blast Zone and then untap with Reclamation and activate Blast Zone.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an annoying card to deal with.
Yeah, Blast Zone is great. Card is messed up.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions for us while we're shuffling up here for game 2?
Yeah, we got one from a returning SCG employee, Travis Gibson.
Ooh.
Welcome back, Travis.
What do you think of Brian Gottlieb saying that Callous Dismissal is the only WinCon Nexus should play?
I think it's fine. I don't know. Like, it's probably slightly better than Commence the Endgame in this exact deck. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how good the card is as just a spell in your deck, but if it's your only win con, that's fine. I just feel like it takes too long. Whereas Commence the Endgame, like, you only need to string together like a couple of Nexus. You don't have to have the full on combo. And drawing cards is like a pretty huge deal. I wouldn't mind like one of each. I feel like there's a chance you just sometimes run out of win conditions if your opponent just like counters or kills all your Tamios. So, but I don't know.
Playing the like very tiny win condition that also has some other effect on the game is a very old school mindset where like win conditions were something to be avoided and play the bare minimum. We live in a time now where like it's important to actually kill the opponent because sometimes they can claw their way back in. You know, if you're comboing, you can win with anything. But there are definitely going to be games where having a powerful card like Commence the Endgame to draw some extra cards, make a big thing so that maybe you can threaten and kill a Teferi on their end step or block a key attacker is going to be important. So I'm skeptical, but I see where Brian is coming from when he says that. And on an abstract level, he's right. Like, you should try to minimize the amount of, pure win conditions you have in your deck. But it's not like Commence the Endgame is just some, giant creature.
Yeah.
It does have other utility in the game. It's just a sort of clunky, expensive card. So I'm with Todd. I think if you're going to go that route, a split makes sense. And there's also time concerns, but I definitely understand where Brian's coming from. And
All right, how's your opener? Mine is keepable.
that's lucky. Okay, mine is also keepable.
All right, I'm going to
Two
lead
lucky
with
people.
Hinterland Harbor.
Okay, that wasn't as good. I'm going to lead with Hallowed Fountain.
All right, your turn.
Ooh, that was very good. I'm going to 18 and play a hero.
Tilt. All right, we're going to opt.
Ooh, opt no spiral, love it.
Yeah, I really just want to draw more growth spirals. Your go.
Okay, I'm going to shoot for 2.
18.
I'll go to 16 to play a thief and get a token.
Blech.
16, 18, you can go.
All right, we'll play a Reclamation on top of all my lands. Your turn.
A great series of draws. Attack for 5.
I'm going to Root Snare just to keep him from getting a Thief Sanity card.
I will Discovery, make a token.
Mhm.
Really looking for some way to interact here. And don't want these. We might end up being a little short here. Let's Discovery again.
Yep.
If Todd can start going off next turn, it's going to be tough. Don't want either of those. Pass the turn. Do have quite the battlefield with 7 points of power.
Okay. So casting Nexus here basically just cycles. So I kind of want to get Tamio on the battlefield and start ticking up and looking for ways to potentially start winning the game. All right. So let's play Tamio and tick up, and I think I kind of want to name like Search for Scanta and then try to get that going pretty quick. Because that'll help me just like get the hard lock. All right, we'll name Search. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bunch of lands going bye-bye. That's fine.
Okay.
Float 1, untap, and say go.
So I'm wondering if this is another Root Snare to protect this Tamio. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy to just...
Or I'm going to do it during your
Sure.
upkeep. Sorry.
And there it is. Okay. You have 2 cards in your hand?
Yes.
So I have a decision here as to what I want to deputy.
It's pretty tough.
We're going to get a token off of it. I think a lot of people would just snap off the Reclamation here, but Todd's really low on resources.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tamio is a source of card advantage and a way to just sit here recurring root snares to just stall me for the next couple turns. So it gives him more draw steps that way too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually inclined to deal with the Tamio here. And just hope that, you don't find like a Chemisters or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pass.
All right, keep draw.
This also lets me draw into like thought erasures. Pretty good.
Trigger.
Yep.
You may have messed up.
Yeah.
All right. Got. All right, so we have 7 in the yard, so keep or bin is fine. I don't really want the growth spiral. Once you're this late in the game and you don't have a land in hand, like growth spiral is a lot worse.
Yeah. You're just paying 2 mana to see the next card that you can by just binning it. So
yeah. Well, that's good. All right, we'll blast zone. And so we'll put Reclamation on the stack. Going to send this up to 3, float 2, untap. 3/4, activate Escanta, I think.
Yep.
2, 3, 4.
That's 3, so you have exactly enough to use the blast zone too.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
And I'll wait till he attacks so he can't actually attack Tamio because my
Yeah.
life's not under any duress at the moment.
That is exactly the thing to do.
And you know this.
Todd may even want to wait until the end step and just give me a thief trigger so I can't like play a Teferi or.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea either. Because I guess the top 3 in my deck, the best thing you can hit is like your own Nexus of Fate, but you don't have enough mana. I don't actually know. Maybe a blink of an eye to like bounce Reclamation is a little annoying. I don't have. I mean, I guess Sabotage. I have Sabotage in my deck. I need to just keep you off it, I think. All right, I'm gonna take 6.
Brings you to 12.
Yeah. Teferi here would be not that big of a deal though, because we have Tamio to get back the blast zone, because it gets back any card.
Well, I will thought erasure you, get a token.
Unfortunately for you,
Oh.
it doesn't do anything except surveil. So Tamio's static ability here is coming in clutch.
Do I want to do that then? Yeah, I think I do just need to surveil for something good. Well, I'm probably just dead then.
Yeah, feel free to concede so we can play more games.
Oh, we'll give it a turn or two. We'll play a tap land.
All right. Draw. So we can't activate Reclamation. We can't activate Escanta and 2 times and cast Nexus. So we'll just float 6. Sorry, I should tick. Sorry, I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah. Well, go back to your main phase. Figure out what you want to do with your Tamio.
Okay, let's plus and just look for more Wilderness Reclamation.
Yeah, that's
1,
my
2,
thought.
3, 4, and we hit a Chemister. It's pretty good. And then yeah, float 6, 7, Nexus, shuffle in, and then we'll activate Escanta, get a card. All right, activate Escanta. 1, 2, 3, 4. Found another Reclamation, which in turn lets me activate Escanta again and again and again and again.
Yeah, I've seen enough.
Okay. It's not like 100% to win at this point, but it's like 95. And with Tamio, if I do just miss, I can just eventually minus on Root Snare and just keep doing Wilderness Reclamation plus Escanta multiple times a turn.
Yeah, I'm just going to fall way too far behind.
Yeah.
I think if I hit the Reclamation with my Deputy, I still am in rough shape to that Escanta, because you just get to rebuy Root Snare for a turn.
Yeah, or I can just plus and try to find another Reclamation, and then I don't know. It's really close.
Yeah, you would rebuy the Root Snare for a turn and then plus the following turn if you wanted to, and then you draw the Blast Zone, and you just get to play Blast Zone and Root
Can't
Snare.
tap it because the Reclamation's gone.
Well, you'd Root Snare again, I think, and then I guess maybe you didn't have enough mana to then get it to 3 immediately. I still feel like I would have been behind, but maybe not as far.
Sure. All right. Well, we're going to take a short break here. We're 1-1 in games. We're going to get sideboards put together, and then we're going to take some questions after we do sideboarding. So make sure to get those into Robert. He's going to be picking his faves. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. We're back for sideboarding, and mine's a lot quicker than Ross's. Basically, Root Snare is more for aggressive decks, and this matchup is not even that reliable after sideboard because Ross has Duress and Thought Erasure and Dovin's Veto, so I can't really rely on it to save me. So I just got to try to turbo through and actually combo kill him. We are cutting Sinister Sabotage as well because a lot of his cards, again, discard spells makes reactive things like Sinister Sabotage a lot worse. So we need to be a little bit more proactive in our interaction. And then Crushing Canopy comes in because Thief Sanity is such a pain in the butt. God Eternal Kefnet gives me a different angle of attack, and if Ross doesn't have a lot of removal in his deck, it's possible that this actually just ends up taking over the game. Plus, the way it works, it actually gets around to Fairy because it creates a copy. But you are casting the copy, so maybe not. I don't even know. Who knows?
Yeah, you're casting it. You're not getting anything.
Fine.
Put the copy directly in the stack, you'd be good.
Sure. And then, of course, we have 2 Murmuring Mystic. These cards just give us a different angle to come at Ross with, and hopefully it's enough to fight through all of his disruption.
Yeah, removal, we are not going to have a lot of. We're cutting all of our removal that does not hit non-creatures, so we leave in Deputy and leave in Mortify. We'll cut the other 7. We got a big pile of counterspells and discard. Notably, Dovin's Veto is multicolored for hero, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're bringing in some contempts because we want to deal with the sideboard creatures that exist in these decks and Tamio. And unfortunately, we're going to have to leave one kind of weak card in the deck. Sideboard probably needs one more card for this matchup. Or the main deck needs to be adjusted. And I've decided to leave in 1 copy of Sorin. Normally they have things like Crushing Canopy or some other way to deal with some creatures. They've got Blast Zone in the main, so Sorin can rebuy Deputy Detention or Thief of Sanity later in the game. Its plus can sort of check Tamio a little bit. I think it's just going to be higher impact than a Cast Down or a Hostage Taker or a Tyrant Scorn would be. Normally I would be okay with a copy of like the Elders Reborn in this matchup, but Tamio just completely shuts that card down. So we're not going to that one. So the list just needs to be adjusted by a card, I think, to fix that inequality there. But hopefully I just don't draw the Sorin.
All right, Mr. Robert, hit us.
Ross, Brookhorse wants to know, what do you think are the weaknesses of this Esper deck?
I mean, it's a mid-range deck. You saw in the first couple games, like I was in rough shape, having drawn a couple bad removal spells, got bailed out by a Teferi in game 1. So you're always going to have that mid-range problem where you can draw the wrong cards in the wrong matchup. And the mana base is always going to be scary, where you're just playing a big pile of dual lands. But the deck is very powerful, so when it's humming and you're drawing the right cards, you can go toe-to-toe with anyone, and that's why it's good.
All right.
And then, kind of along the line on running with Esper, Ross, what are your thoughts on Seraph? We had somebody saying that they've been playing with it and they haven't been impressed by it, and they were wondering what you thought about it.
Yeah, it's bad. Bad card. Somehow.
I mean, it's a solid Magic card, but it's not anything spectacular.
I have no idea how that card is bad, but it is. Like on rate, 4 power flyer, 4 mana, great. 2 abilities, they're not that good, but they sometimes come up, sure. And then when it dies, you get 2 1/1 flyers. How is this card bad? I have no idea, but it is.
There's a lot of ways to deal with it to dodge the afterlife. 4 mana, 4 power flyer. We keep talking about how good of a rate that is, but honestly, in 2019, that's not an awesome thing in and of itself. We had a 4 mana, 4 power flyer printed in Torment that saw no play.
Yeah,
I didn't have that one ready, Ross.
Yeah, I can't even remember the name of it myself, but it got +1/+1 if you had a swamp, it could kill other blue creatures or something.
Who knows? No one.
I don't know.
All right. More questions, please.
It's a solid card, but it's nothing spectacular. It's done some okay things here. I'm down to 2 copies, but you need a lot of multicolor cards, and you want some threat on that part of your curve. I think it's the best available.
Do you think Kefnet might have a spot in the main deck of a Nexus deck instead of just in the sideboard?
I think it's. You want to keep decks with no creatures without creatures. Like you just game 1s, you just want to be like clean, do the one thing, do it super well. Kefnet doesn't really do much pre-sideboard because your deck's just already running very smoothly, and then putting a creature in your deck just gives, while it does come back right? Your opponent a lot of times is just going to hit it with some sort of generic removal spell or Vraska's Tempt or whatever, and it's just going to go back on top of your deck, and they're going to have to deal with it again. But that's also just like a draw you're going to have to draw again that again turns on another removal spell before you actually get any use out of it at all. And again, there's a chance that it just doesn't do anything when you draw a card for the first time each turn. There's a chance that you just don't do anything.
Yeah,
So,
it's the kind of card that just gets you tempoed out in games, and especially in game ones.
it's really important after sideboard to diversify your potential win conditions when you're playing a deck like this, because your opponent is going to be hitting you with such a wide range of disruption, no matter what deck they are. Either they're going to be super low to the ground, they're just going to try to burn you out, and your deck just doesn't really do much against the red deck, or they're just going to be changing their deck in such a way where every single deck has a way to interact with you via counter spells, discard spells, or they're just way too fast.
Yeah, or flexible answers for reclamation and things like that. So, and that's why it's important to have those cards in the sideboard. But in game ones, unless you're forced to adjust in game one, you should just make your deck as linear as possible.
Yep.
You want the minimum amount of interaction necessary to keep pace with the format, and that's essentially Root Snare and now Blast Zone.
Yeah. All right. Let's do one more.
Ross, when are you going to start streaming?
Just say next week. Just always say next week.
Soon.
There it is. That's a good one. All right, let's do one more.
Trying to pick a good one here. Ross, what do you think about playing Unmoored Ego in the sideboard if you expect a lot of Nexus decks?
Yeah, I could see a singleton Unmoored Ego to really hammer home this matchup.
The Eldest Reborns.
Yeah, it's got some of the, maybe a Lyra. I didn't think I needed it against the white weenie deck, but you might need it against red.
Yeah.
I could see a single Unmoored Ego as the other card if we want to have one more card for this matchup. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to game 3. I won game 2, so you're on the play.
And my hand is solid.
My hand's great.
Okay, Water Grave, go.
Go.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to fire off this Duress to potentially take a... Ooh. I will take a Wilderness Reclamation.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Ross, Nick wants your thoughts on the current Jeopardy champ and how he's the greatest to ever play the game.
So we'll see what happens when he gets paired up with some of the other greats, because I'm sure they'll play a tournament sometime soon. That was an interesting draw.
James Hauser. Is that how you say his name? Holzer? Dude's a monster. What you got for me, Captain?
Let's play the Thief. Start putting pressure on Todd. See if he wants to just blow the blink of an eye.
Not particularly. Maybe, though. I'm just going to play around a counterspell and just bounce it. Here you go. This also pushes me a little bit closer towards Search, which I really want to transform soon. Go. Hopefully this survives. Deputy would be quite annoying. So we already burned one of our blinks. Now, he does get to hit me once with a Thief, but it could potentially lead to me stabilizing against the Thief with the Chemister in the grave.
I'm going to Teferi bounce the Mystic.
Wow, that's good. Oh, just so you know, if you attack, you're actually just going to let me flip my Ascanta. Just so you know. I didn't think about that. Because it does put them into the graveyard.
No, I did not think about that either. Ugh. This was turn 5. I really did this to make a land drop, but now that I know, I forgot about this being able to transform the Ascanta, which I really don't want to have happen. And if that's the case, I'm not sure I can Teferi this turn. But whatever, I've already drawn the card. Pass. Trigger. This is getting awkward.
I'm going to... Actually, I've run into Dovin's Veto if I just play Growth Spiral first, so I'm just going to play a Mystic again, play my land, and say go. Just keep on forcing Ross to have the thing.
Three cards in hand.
Yes.
Plus that. Mortify the Search.
So,
this has gotten awkward, but I guess it'll do. Pass.
why don't you attack now?
Oh yeah, the thing doesn't fly.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to take 2. I'm at 18. I don't think I shocked with a Breeding Pool.
No.
Did I? No, I don't think I did.
Okay, so you're at 18. Pass the turn.
Upkeep.
You're good.
Okay, draw.
On your draw step, I'll auto erasure you.
Well, I can't do anything because of Teferi, so commence the endgame, opt, or Growth Spiral.
So I think I'll just take the commence. Yeah, and surveil, and I'll bin the thief.
Alright, I will start my main phase by casting Growth Spiral, and I will create a burb.
Yeah.
I will draw. I will put force onto the battlefield. I will play an opt, get another burb. Top card's a land, we'll bottom it, draw. I will Crushing Canopy the thief and attack Teferi for 1. And here we go.
It's pretty good.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah, playing this Teferi because I didn't realize I wasn't going to be able to attack with thief, and like the pressure from the Escanta was definitely bad. I should have just killed the Mystic straight on and then killed the other thing, the Escanta the following turn. Just wasn't playing carefully enough. And now I got into this awkward spot that basically threw away this Teferi and gave Todd a bunch of bird tokens. But you are on 1 card.
True.
So I think I'm just going to have the Teferi go away and contempt this thing. Go to 22. He can go. My hand is pretty good.
Alright, now his life total is not hugely important, so we're going to send all 3 just in case.
Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to play a Wilderness Reclamation.
Yep.
I will not play my land. Trigger Float.
Yeah, we're going to Chemisters.
And then I'll kind of want a Memorial, actually. Actually, I am going to play my land, so we're going to float 3. And then 4/5, pop Memorial, draw 2.
Yep.
And go.
Okay. Let's play a hero and
You hit Tamio?
yeah.
Nice.
I think I want to wait on the Tamio until next turn.
Sure.
So I'll play a Seraph and get a token.
Okay.
Pass.
All right. Untap.
This turn is really critical.
Which one? This one or the next one I'm about to take? Let's go land Tamio. Tick up. I will... Or maybe I should tick down and get commence. Or no, I'm going to tick down and get search for Escanta. So it's going to put me to 2. I'm going to cast this in a turn, float 1, and then I'll cast Nexus. And shuffle.
Well, that was messed up.
Yeah, this deck's great. Everything just works out perfectly every time. It's great. All right, cut.
That screwed this game up.
Skanta, trigger. Murmuring Mystic doesn't seem very bad right now. We still have the Chemister in the grave. I guess it just, if I whiff for a turn or whatever, it just guarantees me some amount of protection. So let's transform this, keep the card on top. And a plus, we'll just look for another Wilderness Reclamation because it allows us to go crazy with the Skanta? I never know how to say it. Okay, we missed it anyway, but we hit another Chemister. That's pretty good. So,
Tommy putting cards in the graveyard is pretty messed up.
yeah, it's quite good.
It transforms your Ascantas so quickly and gives you value with insight.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna be
Judge.
I'm gonna be taking this anyway. Shut up. It was not. And then I'll just float for 5, 6, 7, cast Nexus, and then activate Skanta again. You can concede at any time.
I'll give it another turn or two. So if I just contempt it on turn 4 rather than trying to get cute with the Teferi, if I just contempt the Murmuring Mystic, then next turn mortify the Ascanta, then I'll have Teferi out and be able to stop this nonsense.
Yeah.
And Todd would have just never gotten any birds. But instead I had to sit there and like deal with the Ascanta first, or it was going to transform because I just took a turn off to get the Teferi in play when it wasn't really necessary to do so. Okay, now I'll concede. Okay.
Yay.
Also,
Alright.
just a note, apparently did mess up the Teferi that game. It doesn't tuck, it just bounces it back to your hand.
I put it back in my hand.
Oh, everybody said you tucked it, so I don't know.
What did you bounce?
The Mystic.
Yeah, I just put the Mystic back in my hand.
That's what I thought, but
I just recast it on the next turn, I
telling.
thought.
Yeah. I think they were you saw it a second copy a couple turns later off the Ascanta. Chat might have been confused, thought that was the other one.
All right, well, good.
I don't know.
Mess that up then.
I'm pretty sure I just put it in my hand.
Yeah.
Because I just recast it on the next turn, I thought. Or maybe I played Tamio on the next turn. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. I remember he bounced my thing, and then I played... drew Search for Ascanta and played it. Or no, I already had it. Man, y'all make me question stuff now. All right, well, it's 250. Do you want to play a 4th game and have a chance to get a draw and not be able to play a 5th game?
Oh, we'll play a 4th game.
Okay, never mind. You just really want to ferry me, huh?
Yep.
All right, any questions for us?
Ross, what do you think of Time Wipe in this Esper deck? Is it is that too much of a control card and you're too mid-rangey?
No, I think Time Wipe is definitely an option. I actually mentioned it in my article. I think it's something that you'll want if you're really concerned with beating other like mid-range creature decks.
Yeah.
I think it's quite good against a deck like Sultai. You can wipe their board and rebuy your Hostage Taker or Deputy of Detention or whatever, while also being pretty good against the aggressive decks.
And in those matchups, if it's a sideboard card too, like I don't think Hero Precinct 1 is very good against like Golgari, because like they just play a bunch of fine finalities, and at some point they finality you.
Yeah. So I'm in on that card. Also in on this hand.
Tamio Nexus 5 lands. Damn, should look for a better one. All right, Mr. Robbo.
Do you see Tamio having value outside of this Nexus deck in some kind of value-esque deck where it can just act like a Eternal Witness every turn?
I mean, yeah, I mean the card is a lot better than I ever gave it credit for initially. I mean, I miss on the plus for. I think I've so far in total since playing Tamio, I think I have hit twice in all the games I've played on the plus. This is out of maybe 10 activations on the plus or whatever. Not a lot. But 2 out of 10 is not that good. And I still think the card's, lack of a better term, effed up. So
Yeah, it's been very
the minus
impressive.
is very,
here.
very good. So, whatever. There's a chance. I don't know. All right, this hand is keepable. It's not good, though.
Okay, Chapel go.
Go. Actually, I'm going to play this tapped.
Shock for Goblet Shrine and Discovery.
Sure.
And yeah, I'll take both of those. You can go.
Uh-oh.
I'm at 18.
I will play Search for a Scant. Your turn.
I will play Hero and Dressy.
Okay, you want to opt or another search? I also have a blast zone.
I will take the other search. You can go.
Search trigger. Don't have green for Growth Spiral, but we can hit it off of an opt, so I will keep it. Cast the opt. Bottom an island. I will. I guess if I draw Breeding Pool, I want to just play it tapped to save my life total, so we'll keep it. So, you know, these two, I will play the island. You don't have Blast Zone. So. Actually, I'm going to play the Blast Zone.
Okay.
Just because I might want to play a different land next turn and have the Blast Zone on the battlefield.
Deputy to the search, get a token, attack for 2.
Yep. I'm at
18 all?
18.
You can go.
Untap. Draw. I will play Wilderness Reclamation while he's tapped out, and then untap these, and I'm going to play Growth Spiral, draw, play a second Blast Zone, and say go.
Attack for 4.
14.
I will Discovery, get a token.
Mm-hmm.
Bin these lands. And pass a turn.
Roll Blast Zone up to 2.
While you do that, I'll mortify that, make a token.
Yep.
You can go. So I got 6 power here. So I should have I'm pretty close to a 2-turn clock, and I've disrupted Todd several times. You're going to get down to 2 cards over there?
Yeah. I can blow the zone on 2, and that leaves him with 4 power. And how many cards in hand?
2.
And I don't really need to give the search back immediately, so I think I just want to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Your turn. I guess I should tap this and leave this up.
Attack for 4.
10. Fortunately, Blast Zone can't clean up tokens because it always comes in with 1, which is rather annoying. But, you know, take what you can get, I guess.
A little annoying that I'm 1 short here with this Seraph, but I think I'll just play it. Okay, apply some pressure, pass the turn.
Alright, I will trigger on the stack, float 2. Roll this up to 3 and say go.
So now
on your upkeep, I'm gonna Crushing Canopy this.
That's fine. So I get some spirits. I drew my card.
I think you put it back.
Yeah. Draw this card. Attack for 4.
That's 6.
So that brings you to 6, and I guess that is actually really awkward.
Mm-hmm.
How do I want to do this? Do you have a Chemsters over there?
No.
No? So I probably just want to show you lethal.
As long as it's not a 3-drop thing, that's fine.
Yeah, I have a pretty weird hand here, and then I have 2 3s, but they're both very good, as my 3-mana cards tend to be. So, like, if I were to Teferi bounce the Reclamation, then Todd is forced to recast it, float 2 mana, untap his lands, and then he can activate the Blast Zone with 4 mana remaining, and not be dead next turn, which seems rather poor for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the thing is, doing that does force Todd to blow up the Blast Zone during my attack step. I guess you're forced to do that regardless. Okay. Yeah. So I guess we'll just play the Seraph. Pass the turn.
Yeah, I think presenting lethal through Blast Zone is good.
Yep.
All right.
It's going to be tough for you to actually like win the game from here, right?
5, 6. Untap. Go Nexus.
Ugh.
And pop Blast Zone.
It's literally the only thing I...
So I get Search back, which is pretty important, but I don't have Root Snare in my deck right now, which is something to consider.
If I had just played Teferi, it would have stopped the Nexus from happening, and then you would have been forced to blow up the Blast Zone, and I could just...
but you don't attack me for lethal.
Yeah, but then I was Deputy of the Wilderness Reclamation, and your Blast Zone's gone.
Yeah.
And I just tell you, like, hope your Ascanta is good.
Good.
But you ripping Nexus here was... And you have
I'll keep it.
And you have exactly enough mana now to dig for Nexus and still cast it. Even with an opt afterwards, too.
All right. Float. Yeah.
I think I should have just Teferi'd.
Maybe. I guess if like you will kind of lock me up after a few turns. Cut.
I guess if I Teferi, you just don't have to play the Reclamation. But then you
draw.
Then you leave yourself vulnerable to a discard spell or a counter spell as opposed to a Deputy, so you probably would cast it.
Okay. We'll activate.
Yep.
Pretty sure I'm still dead. It's just like can't gain any traction here. And I don't have Root Snare. Float 2.
Yep. Yeah, everything's 4 mana, so you can't find another Nexus.
And I'm at 6. I can find a Blink of an Eye for this.
Or a Crushing Canopy.
Yeah, so
you might want to Ascanta instead, right? Although I guess if you have to, like, Ascanta lets you survive more often, but Insight lets you maybe win more often. That's I don't know which is right.
I don't either. I think just seeing more cards is better. 2, 3, 4. Bottom. Draw. All right, we're dead.
Okay. Yeah, even if Todd finds the answer to Seraph, like I'm able to get him to 1 and then like play one of my things, probably just deal with that thing. But
all right. So even though we split games 2 and 2, we're going to call it quits here because we need to get to our third match. I think that a 2-2 split in this matchup is actually pretty generous for the Simic Nexus deck in this particular one, just because, like, you know, you didn't draw a ton of Teferis over the course of the match. Out of 4 games, I think you cast Teferi 3 times, maybe. And I had the Blast Zone each time, which was pretty nice because I don't really have a good way to dig for Blast Zone specifically.
How many Blast Zones in the deck? 3.
Yeah, but we're playing 2 more lands in the older versions, and they kind of function like spells that, give you a land drop.
I think if we had played this match pre-war, then you're right that the 2-2 split's pretty generous. But Tamiyo and Blast Zone give that deck a lot more resilience than it once had. So I wouldn't discount the performance here from the Simic deck. You know, it's getting a lot of hype, but maybe that hype is well-founded.
Yeah. I think there's a chance after sideboard you don't want God Eternal Kefnet. I actually found it on Ascanta multiple times, and if it was just Root Snare in either scenario, I would have been much happier. Of course, that was after I had already dealt with Thief of Sanity, so I'm not even sure that that's like that big of a deal. And also Root Snare just gets completely bricked off by a Teferi, so I don't know. All I know is that when I was digging for something to stabilize, I just didn't feel like I had enough of them in my deck. And I just needed more like Root Snare, Nexus of Fate, things like that. Even Tamiyo in some spots would have been good enough if I had a Root Snare. I think you take that element out of your deck in a matchup that certainly has creatures and kills you by attacking. It's possible that like you just have to have some number of Root Snare because it works so well with Tamiyo, and you just need to buy yourself time when you're just like clawing to get back into the game.
Yeah, whereas Kefnet doesn't really buy you a whole lot of time.
No, it is pretty good against Thief of Sanity, and just that it blocks. So maybe I could just find a way to keep some number of them in the deck, and maybe also bring in Kefnet. I'm not 100%, but anyway, any questions before we sign off on go to the third match?
Not right now. We can go ahead and head on to the third game.
All right.
So we're going to be playing against Is It Drakes in the third set. So we've gone two polarizing ends of the spectrum with Azorius Aggro and Simic Nexus. We'll finish in the middle.
Yep.
Get to see, a good old-fashioned fight between creatures and removal spells.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for more Versus Live.